Hello, Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with your personal power card. This is the adjustment card. This is the card that rules the sign of Libra. This is you. This is you. And I think that you are someone who is, you're a very fair person. I feel like you have an ability to really see all sides of an issue, all sides of an argument. You strive toward really keeping the balance and, kind of mediating between things. I feel like you have an ability to understand all points of view, okay? And I feel that you're somebody that people trust, I think people come to you for decisions. They say, okay, evaluate this, be the judge, And I think that puts you in a position where you try to kind of stay out of the mix. You have to be objective, right? You have to be unbiased. And you're not somebody that really likes to pick a side, I think that whatever situation you've got going on right now, you're trying to kind of stay out of it. But you're still being asked to kind of, to either make a decision or to make a judgment or to help to kind of to moderate or mediate something. Okay? I kind of feel like you're being asked to pick a side right now. Let's put this card into a little bit of context and let's see what indeed is going on for you. There's the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, we have Tower. We do have a Tower card. We have a Seven of Wands, but a Six of Pentacles, and the Magician. Your choice right now is really going to determine the outcome here. Okay? I feel like you are being asked to choose. I feel like Spirit is kind of calling upon you to choose right now and not to mediate. It's kind of like you have to choose what you value more. And I don't know what the conflict is, if it's something at work, at home, at school, if this is involving other people that kind of on a personal level, or if this is like a business decision. You have to choose whatever option is going to bring you the most value. Whatever holds more weight for you. See, this Ten of Pentacles is only in one of your scales, cups. In one of these, in one side of the scale. So it's really asking you in this situation, with whatever side. I don't know. I feel like there's two camps. Whichever one seems like it's going to have more value for you. Does that make sense? And I'm not just talking which one pays you more, but I mean which one really speaks to that sense of value. Which one do you give more weight to? You don't have to be neutral. Okay. In fact, it's really saying that one side is very, very easily the right choice for you. Okay. The Ten of Pentacles. One side has all the pentacles. One side has none. And the pentacles here, the Ten of Pentacles, is your idea of wealth. It is what you value. And it's not money. Okay? I mean, well, money could be part of it, okay? That is maybe a factor. But the Ten of Pentacles is everything that you value in life. What side aligns with your values? It's if there's a pros and cons list, one side has all the pros and almost none of the cons, okay? So that's the side, obviously, that you have to choose. You're being asked to pick a team here. Not stay out of it, not remain neutral, not try to be fair and give each side kind of, equal preference. There is a conflict that's erupting where peace once stood here, and it's a conflict inside of you. It's kind of like you're being torn in two directions, and you've got to pick a side before you get kind of torn in half. Over here we have the 7 of Cups. We see a 10. Yeah, see, 10 of Swords. One side has all the marbles, the other side has none. Okay. We have a 4 of Wands. We have a 9 of Wands. You have to stand up and be strong here. Okay. If you want this kind of harmony and success, if you want to restore the balance, and if you want things to have a good ending here, you've got to be strong. Okay? The harmony here requires courage. Okay? Requires you being courageous, not quiet. You don't have to be, I'm staying out. It doesn't have to be about money. It's probably not about money. Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe some of your friends are separating or something, and you have to kind of choose a side in that separation, right? It could be that there are two groups of your friends, and they're disagreeing on something. Okay? Your decision is going to bring about the harmony and the clarity. But you can't stay on the fence, excuse my voice. It kind of feels like there is a throat chakra blockage here for you. There is something very, very obvious that you're going to choose, but I feel like something is kind of like, it's trying to make you be quiet. You kind of feel as if you can't really pick a side. You're not supposed to pick a side. That you've got to remain neutral. I don't know what the drama is, but there's some drama right now. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. Set it right here with Mr. Ed, our little horse, right there on top. We're not going to look at that horse, of course, until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down beneath the video. Okay, now let's look around the room. We see 1, 2 major arcana energies, 3, our tower. In this situation, you are the magician. You have to assume your role as the magic maker and know that whatever decision you make is going to create a reality. You're choosing the timeline here. You're choosing what universe you are sort of getting to, okay? What universe you are creating for yourself and perhaps for people in this thing. Maybe you are the boss at work and maybe some employees are having a crisis, okay? And having a conflict, and you've got to make a decision. You can't say, I believe both of you, or like, let's just split it down the middle, I think that it very obviously has to go to one over the other. You are kind of, you're aligning yourself with one camp and not the other one. I think the decision to you is quite easy to make. I think one side has everything that you believe in, the other side don't. But that doesn't make your decision any easier, okay? Because then it's kind of like, that you're kind of alienating the other side, the other team, okay? Yeah. I feel like you've got to figure out what your 10 of Pentacles is. What are your requirements? What are the things that you value most? In whatever kind of realm we're talking about. List your non-negotiables. in love, in life, in business, whatever. Your pets, your plants, your people, right? What are the things that you absolutely believe in that you will not compromise on? Because that's how you're going to make your decision. Okay. So we have one, two, three majors. You've got fire, fire, fire. Water down here, yeah. Air and earth. Where to even begin? Well, 10 of Pentacles, value, wealth. What does wealth mean to you? What are the things that you value in life? What do you want? And it's not just, well, what side's going to pay me the most, you know? Or it's kind of like if you're the boss, it's like you're going to make a decision based on what's going to save the company the most money, okay? Maybe that's a factor, sure. But you're not willing to compromise your true values just because it's going to save you a little money or make you a little bit extra money. Okay? Money might be one weight in the scales, but everything else that you believe in vastly outweighs the few dollars that you'll save. So this isn't so much about money as it is about you aligning yourself with a particular set of values and beliefs. I don't want to get into politics or religion. This seems like it's some interpersonal drama that might be happening at work or at home. You got to pick a team. You got to pick a side, okay? And by knowing what your values are and what kind of life you're trying to create, you're going to make a decision that I think is a very, very obvious decision, okay? But it is still difficult to make, okay? Let's say there's a disagreement between, let's say you have kids, right? And they're arguing over who gets to eat the last slice of pizza or something, right? There's one very obvious answer. But if you were to pick a side, you're obviously going to upset somebody. And I feel like that doesn't sit well with you. You like to stay out of it. Let's see, this is your friends, and they're having some kind of an argument or some kind of beef, right? Especially if this has anything to do with infidelity or some kind of accusations, okay? Or something along those lines. Because by you picking a side, you're basically telling the other side you don't believe what they say. You know, it feels that way. So I don't know if this is, if there is an accusation, and you either know for sure that it's true and you believe it, or there's no way. It feels like it's very obvious to you which perspective holds more weight. And that 10 of Pentacles is all the weight, because it's contrasted with your 10 of Swords, which has no weight to it at all. Okay, I feel like maybe this is some kind of an accusation. It could be that it could even be that you're on a jury. You know, it could be something that's quite serious, yeah? And I think that it's very obvious that one story doesn't hold weight, doesn't hold water. You know, that saying, while the other one really feels like it's got substance. And it feels like you feel really strongly about the choice that you want to make, but it's difficult for you to make that choice, okay? Because you can see all the factors here. And I think that it would be nice if this didn't happen. And so you weren't in that position where you had to choose. But you are, okay? You are. The Tower is that sort of chaos, you know? Where it's kind of like we wish we could just go back to what was before this, where everybody was just getting along, where this thing didn't happen, you know, that nobody stole a cookie out of the cookie jar kind of thing, okay? Because then you wouldn't be in a position where you had to pick a side. But the thing is, this is a moment where you realize everything is going to change. And it's inevitable. This is a surprise. And it's, surprise, you're in a position now where you can't stay on the fence, where you have to pick one side or the other. And whatever choice you make, whatever choice you make is going to change, fundamentally change your relationship with both parties. I think on the one hand, it's going to deepen your relationship with someone, okay? With kind of you're aligning yourself with someone else more. It's going to strengthen your relationship there. But on the other hand, it is going to fundamentally change and probably ruin the relationship that you have with that other party. There is the chance that the other party will recognize that, hey, you're in a tight spot, you're in a difficult situation, and you did the best you could. You made a choice based on what you believe and what had value for you, and I understand that. But that's not a promise. We can't predict if the other party's going to do that. Okay? They might be very disappointed that you made a decision that did not align with them. And the idea here is that you can't choose both. It's either that person or that person. I don't know what your choice is. I don't know that I want to know. But this is the moment where everything fundamentally changes and is saying, thanks a lot for putting me in this position. The tower is always disruptive. It's always difficult. It's always unexpected. And it always feels chaotic. It's never fun, right? But you realize that this is inevitable, that you have no choice but to deal with the tower. And the tower is a pivotal moment. It's an exclamation point in your life where life is changing. This is kind of how we mark time. It's such a significant event that it's going to be a date on the calendar, you know. There was life before this event, and now there's going to be the life after this event. Okay. And I don't think you can stay neutral. That's kind of the problem, that you wish that you could, but you can't. Okay. Now in the background here, we see the Seven of Wands. Okay. It feels like as part of the background story here, it feels like maybe somebody was treated unfairly. It feels that maybe there is like an accusation of an unfair power dynamic. Okay. That there is somebody is playing upon the idea of the underdog. It's almost as if somebody wants you to choose them because they're the weaker party, and so somebody is making themselves out to be like a victim or that they were taken advantage of in some way. Okay? As a way to kind of convince you to choose them. Kind of like, I couldn't have done it because they're so much stronger than I am. How could I be at fault? You know? So I don't like this reading at all. I don't want to be mixed up in this, you know. This is not any kind of legal advice, by the way. I'm just reading the energy here. Because this might be a legal or, you know, it might be something not like criminal law, but it might be some kind of mediation. It might have to do with a divorce or something that's not fun. Okay, but it's a big shift. And I think that this is an important piece of background information. And somebody's playing upon that I'm the weaker party, so I can't be, you have to choose me, right? Because I'm the weaker party, right? Somebody's playing on that type of energy. Okay. The Six of Pentacles is the kind of the reestablishment of order. Inside you feel like chaos, but outside you want things to harmonize. And in a way, this is kind of a round table. It's almost like you're bringing everybody to the table and you're going to decide based on merit, based on the evidence, based on the weight of the facts, based on what you give credence to, based on what you believe has the significance. Maybe you're on a jury. Maybe you are a mediator. Okay? But this isn't calling upon you to try to make a fair win-win kind of thing. It feels like this is a choice that you're saying, I believe this team over here won. I'm going with these people over here and not those. But I think, part of this, the harmony of the Six of Pentacles, because this, again, is kind of a round table. Everybody's coming to the meeting, and you don't have any bias, you don't have any preconceived notions. You're going to take everything on its merit. You're going to weigh all the options very objectively. Okay? But I think there's a very clear winner here. Okay? But you're not, the sort of harmony that I feel here is this kind of unbiased energy. Is that you're not going in kind of with this idea like, oh, I know what really happened. Or like, oh, I like this person better, and so they're probably right here. Okay? And it may be that the choice you're making, you're not choosing your best friend because you, in good conscience, you can't say that they won. And I think that's why it's really important that you make the decision here, because people know that you're not just going to play favorites, or that you're not emotionally manipulated, and that you're not going to be bullied either. That you're going to say, yeah, even though you're my best friend, I still have to weigh the evidence. Okay? And so I feel like you're treating everybody equally. Okay? And of course, the Magician, what you say is going to be law. You are speaking the word, and the word is going to be gospel. Okay? That you are, what you proclaim, the decision that you make. Okay, when that gavel comes down and you have to give your answer, that's it. Okay, and in a way, you're determining how this tower is really going to come down. You're determining what the aftermath is going to be. This is a culmination of things led to an exclamation point, led to a tower event. You are the architect of what comes next, you see. Your decision is going to determine the future here. That's a heavy responsibility. That's what we have up here, is that sort of heaviness. There might be a sort of contract. This might have something to do with an agreement or some kind of I feel like you're either a lawyer or you were a lawyer in another life. Because I feel like you have this ability to kind of argue for what you believe in. But that's the thing here, is that you have to really believe in that choice that you're making. Okay. So I don't know, maybe you're not the lawyer, maybe you're the judge. I don't know. It's not much difference there, I guess. But the Magician is the one who is making the declaration. Speaking the word, speaking the decision, and that's it. So be careful what decision you make, because it really is affecting a lot of other people's lives. As part of our tower energy too, realizing that the decision that you make is going to have a ripple effect, and it's going to affect a lot of people. It's going to ripple into the future for who knows how long. It's going to ripple out from you, and it's going to affect other people's lives. Okay? And so you're really trying to make sure that you are absolutely correct. Now, it would be nicer if you didn't have to do this, but you didn't put yourself in this position, okay? Something outside of your control is taking place that's now forcing your decision, and you've got to make a decision that's going to sit right with you. Regardless of who your friends are, regardless of what you want to believe, you're trying to make the decision based on the actual facts and the evidence and the reality of the situation, okay? Now, I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to hit the like button if this is hitting home for you. Let me know what the story is. If you want to share, don't share anything that's too privileged or sensitive or too personal, because comments are public, obviously, right? But if you want to just give me a little, give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that this is this is kind of on the right track for you, okay? Your 7 of Cups that we have is the general energy. You're kind of sick over this thing. It doesn't feel good to be in this position. It's kind of like, how dare you put me in this position? You're not happy with anybody because it's like, hey, I was living my life, and now suddenly I got roped into this, and now I gotta pick a side here. And again, maybe it's like a divorce, and you've got to pick what side are you on? Who are you going to stay friends with, and who are you not? You know what I mean? It's something like that. It's drama. And it's not anything that you did, but now, your life is changing, and you have to make a decision about kind of what camp you're in. And I feel like if we're looking for a time frame here, I think something's coming in the next couple weeks. Okay? I think the big shift is happening in a week or 2. And it's not going to feel good at first. Obviously, the 7 of Cups feel kind of sick. Feels like you're stuck in this, and it feels kind of like a no-win situation, right? We want to win. We want a 6 of Pentacles. We want some kind of a harmony. We want this to have some kind of a positive outcome. But when it's a Tower moment and it's a 7 of Cups, it kind of feels like there is no real celebration. There's going to be a positive outcome. Sure, there will be an outcome. Life will go on. Things will harmonize, and the world will keep turning. But there really is no joyful, celebration. Nobody's really having a party here. Okay. Now the 10 of Swords in the environment, in the position of your relationships. First of all, I feel like you're not trying to let your personal feelings get in the way. Because maybe both parties here, maybe you like them both, maybe they're both your friends. Okay? But they're having a conflict, right? And now you're in the middle of it. And you can't, if you're friends with one, the other person will say, how dare you? If you're friends with the other person will say, how dare you? So I feel like you're kind of being forced to choose one friend over the other, or again, one side, one party over the other, yeah? You're trying not to let your personal bias get in the way. Well, I like that person better. They're more fun, or I get along with them more, or we have more in common, we have more shared interests, so I'll pick this person. I don't think you're trying to go in that direction. Okay, you're trying to be as neutral as possible and think, I just got to think about what happened. What are both sides saying? And what really feels like the right answer to me? Not because I like that person more, or they've got better music or whatever, right? The 10 of Swords is also really, to me, when we contrast it with our 10 of Pentacles, there's substance here, there's some meat on the bones here, over here there's not. So it's very, very obvious to me that you believe one person's story, and the other person feels like it's just a bunch of baloney. Okay? This is a dry and desiccated thing. There's no meat on the bones. Their story doesn't hold water. Okay? That sort of thing. Whereas this one feels like, yeah, this one seems like obviously there's a lot more detail. There's a lot more substance there. Okay? Maybe you're picking between, I don't know why you'd be picking between jobs, or picking between opportunities, or paths, or roads, or something like that for yourself. One path is going to lead to prosperity, one path is going to lead to a dry hole. Obviously, right? One path, you got the gold, one path, you're going to get nothing. Okay. So that's a very interesting choice here. I feel like it's not so much about what is going to benefit you. I feel like it's more about what you really are going to feel a clear conscience over. What you feel like in your heart you made the right choice. Okay? And it may happen to be the choice that's going to bring you the most prosperity too, but I don't feel the 10 of Pentacles is talking about prosperity necessarily, okay? But we could look at it that way, that you have 2 roads in front of you. One road leads to the dry hole, one road leads to substance and prosperity and value and wealth, okay? the Four of Wands here in the position of the obstacle really is just the obstacle of closure. Okay, the obstacle of needing to make a decision, but being kind of nervous about signing the papers and just and being done, like rubber stamping your decision. I kind of feel like you're vacillating a little bit back and forth. This is the card that says you have to make a decision. You got to finalize it so you can get off this roller coaster. Let's do a critical thinking oracle card, yeah? Kind of a neat little addition that I was gifted. These, I have some creative thinking cards and some critical thinking cards that are kind of fun. So let's just throw one of these out there and see what it says. In-group bias. You unfairly favor those who belong to your group. We presume that we're fair and impartial, but the truth is that we automatically favor those who are most like us or who belong to our groups. Try to imagine yourself in the position of those in out-groups, whilst also attempting to be dispassionate when judging those who belong to your groups. Okay, well, there's this in-group bias, okay? And what I think is going on here is that both parties belong to your group, okay? These are both two people that you value. They're a friend. They're good people. They seem like good people. One has a story that is obvious baloney. One has a story that is like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense, okay? And so I think that you're trying to kind of put yourself out of that position and just pretend they were two strangers that had these stories, so that we're not biased toward and because that's part of the problem. We think both of these people are good people, but one of them's got to be lying, right? One of them's got to be like not as forthcoming as they should be. But we don't want to believe that because they're part of our group. Because I've trusted that person, I've let them into my house, that sort of thing. It's very interesting. Anyway. The Four of Wands is that confirmation, the completion of this process. I think you just want it to be done, The Nine of Wands here at the end, this is the strength that you need, the harmony that you're trying to reestablish, that you're trying to you're trying to build based on this, something that shakes things to their foundation. You're trying to go forward. And you're trying to, just restore some harmony in life. It's going to require that you are courageous and not quiet. You got to have backbone here. This is the Nine of Wands. This is strength. This is inner strength. This is confidence. This is kind of like saying you have to make a decision for yourself, taking a lot of different things into consideration. What is going to be best for you, and also what's the right thing to do. What are the things that you really value the most? Okay. What is it that you need to protect? Okay. So this might be something where it doesn't really, it matters, but it's not the only thing that matters is who's objectively right and who's objectively wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's not that black and white. Maybe you have to take into consideration, how is it going to affect me in my life? If I choose this or that, how's that going to affect me and your pets, plants, and people, your loved ones, your future? Okay, because you have to also protect what's yours. Okay, it's not an enviable position that you're in. But you've got to have backbone. You've got to stand up. You've got to do what is right for you and what's right for what's just right, okay? Virtue is a big thing here. Probably the mystery card is going to be that Three of Wands, the virtue. Okay, but maybe not, because maybe you want to do what's right, but you have to also do what's right for you. What is objectively the right thing to do might be putting you at risk. That's something that you need to consider, okay? Let's look at this mystery card. Maybe this will be the Moon card, and this will all be a dream, yeah? I feel like that's wishful thinking there. I feel like it might be an Empress. It might be a 6. Maybe it's going to be a 6 of Swords. Might be that 3 of Wands. If you have a prediction, though, Libra, I want you to put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Lover's card. Interesting. Interesting. I was thinking earlier that this could be a Gemini person that we're talking about, but I didn't want to say that at the time because there wasn't a very strong hint at a Gemini energy. But now we're getting that Gemini card again, so I feel like there's kind of there's a subtle hint there that there's a Gemini type of person somewhere. But really, this is a card of choice. This card is the choice. This is you saying heck yes 1,000% to something, which means you're saying no to somebody else. This is you picking a side. This is you aligning yourself with one camp over the others. So this might be the higher wisdom and discernment, weighing the evidence, trying to stay impartial, trying to stay unbiased. But realizing that you have to make a choice and trying to figure out, what do I base my choice on? I can choose based on, well, which one's going to give me the most money? Okay. I can choose based on what's going to keep me the safest. Okay. I can choose on, well, what's going to be easiest for me, maybe. I can choose based on what is objectively right. There's all different ways to choose, especially a choice of this kind of magnitude. But this is the choice, okay? So I think that in the next couple of weeks, you are going to be called upon to make a final choice, to give a final answer about something, okay? And there's a lot of different things to weigh, a lot of different things that are important to you. That's why you should make a list of those non-negotiables. The things that it's ultimately, it's like you got to protect your family, right? That's number one. So that's the biggest, heaviest weight in there. Which one's going to be better to protect your family, right? But there are other things too that weigh against that. This is the ultimate choice. This is you giving your final answer, rubber stamping it and saying, okay, that's it, ship it. That's my answer. That's my decision. Yeah. Very strong confirmation here. We're going to do an extended reading, see if we can get some more insight. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner here. There's one in the video description there. New readings for Libra on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.